Hi, welcome back everybody to Max's Monday podcast. I apologize for the extended break. It's been a crazy couple of months, folks. Just to give you a little rundown of what I've been going, kind of update on my life. Finished my second year of schooling at the University of California, Merced, which I will be returning to later this month. I got my first apartment. That was fun. Uh, Car broke down. Had to get a new car. Luckily, I had some folks help me out with that. So, um, had to do that. Basically, wiped out my savings. Not very good with money. Something I need to work on. So I was just working crazy. At one point, I think I was working 4 jobs. Um, as a lot of you may know, I got an internship at the Capitol. I've been working with the Honorable Senator Anna Caballero. She's an amazing woman. Um, I did SC 12. The district actually is Merced. So that's always um, it just worked out nicely how that all played out. Um, now that I'm talking about it a little bit, they actually, um, I started off as unpaid. Um, I was fortunate enough, and I put in a lot of hours, and they really liked the work that I was doing and how much I was helping out. They put in a request for stipend um, through the legislature. It got approved. That really helped out with my financial situation. And then they announced just last week that they're going to extend my internship um, as I go back to school in Merced. She has a district office in Merced, 7 minutes away from my apartment. Beautiful, works out so wonderfully. So I'm really excited to continue this new and exciting chapter in my life. Um, Shout out to all my friends who have been really, really, really supportive. To all my family members. Shout out to my girlfriend. She plays such a huge part in being supportive of this part of my life. Something that I've been wanting to do since I was a child. So this experience has been amazing. I really look forward to uh, continuing to be part of the senator's office. And even gain some new responsibilities. I've been asked um, to kind of be the education informant. So basically, just making sure that all the schools in the senator's district are doing what they need to do as schools reopen back in the fall. Um, COVID's still a thing; it hasn't gone away. Please, 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 for love of God, get vaccinated. I'm vaccinated. All my family, everybody I'm around is vaccinated. Please, please get it. Um, Take advantage of free healthcare for the one time in your life. um, and no, just please stay safe out there, guys, with all the variants and all the crazy stuff going on right there. I know Sacramento County just put back the mandate for masks. Never should have taken it away. Just saying, how the hell are you gonna get masks back on people? Um, with that being said, guys, yeah, I was doing that. So the internship, I was doing that 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. I wasn't always at the Capitol office. I was working remotely in the mornings, so I'd tinker around with that a little bit. I worked at Roundtable. I was doing KFC. And then I also got a job at Lovesac. I don't know if you heard about this. I'm actually going to do a quick little promo. It's unpaid. I'm not like I'm getting paid for an advertisement there. Maybe something in the future. Maybe if I start to get back in the groove. I definitely want to get back in the groove with this. Um, it's wonderful. It's modular furniture. It's couch Legos. It's awesome product. Just get a little pricey, but we are offering financing, and I know everybody who 90% of the people that listen here are students, are younger. We are going to be testing out a student discount. I think it's like 5% off on top of whatever sale that's going on right now. It's a great product. I can't wait to get. So they sell the big ass beanbag chairs. So I can't wait to get one of those, and then eventually get a couch setup. It's the adult thing to do. It's what you got to do. I love the product. It's a great product. There's one at the Roosevelt Galleria. There's one on our street downtown. Anybody's interested, I am also going to take the initiative of see that car back there. That's funny. Um, Emailing the guy who started the company because just in the last couple of days, I've gotten multiple customers who are traveling all the way up from Modesto, Fresno, the Merced areas. It's like a 3 hour drive, and that's because we're the closest Lovesac in that area. So I'm going to try to advocate for the building of a Lovesac in the Central Valley. Um, I think there's a market out there for that, especially if we got people coming all the way up from those areas. As is, there's an untapped market out there. So I'm gonna try to work on that. Um, I was able to quit KFC finally after being there for well over a year. I was able. I just today quit Roundtable. Um, just getting ready to transition over to Merced and get that all set up. And I wanted to have more time, more free time, get to see everybody um, before I leave and get to really spend some good quality time. And just it was exhausting. I was working at one point 7 days a week, um, multiple jobs a day, 12-hour days. You know, getting up at 7, not getting home till 10:30. So it was really exhausting, but it all paid off. It's you know I really worked out today. Whole reason I wanted there's a couple reasons. Obviously, I really enjoyed doing this podcast. When I first started, my schedule just got too crazy. I just got kind of lazy, to be honest with you. Anybody who knows me knows that's a tendency that I can have from time to time. Um, Also, people have really invested in this. My girlfriend, she bought me this microphone. I didn't want to be a douchebag, you know what I mean, and just be like, well thanks for the gift, but I'm actually not going to use it anymore. It's just really taking that to heart. Of I got a lot of good feedback when I was doing this pretty consistently, so I wanted to bring that back. My time's also opened up. I have a lot more time. Um, I'm definitely going to be picking this up in Merced and do it on a more consistent basis. And really, my schedule is looking beautiful out there. I'm really liking what I got going on out there. So, um, so just hang tight with me. So, with that being said, I'm just going to kind of talk about something that happened to me today at the Capitol. I have to sneeze once. Oh, geez, excuse me. COVID. Sorry. Um, I hope YouTube doesn't take it down. I might actually just cut that part out. Who knows? Sorry, I've had something in the back of my throat all day. Um, let me put it this way. I didn't really intend for this podcast to be that political. It's just who I am. Politics is my thing. I'm literally a political science major. I live and breathe politics. That's the field I work in. It was going to happen eventually. Um, but I also really enjoyed when I had guests and it wasn't just me here talking. So I'm definitely gonna start that back up again and get a good guest list and get a good rotation of people to come on and off the podcast. Maybe some regulars. I don't know. I definitely want to again not always talk politics. As a lot of you know, I'm a big sports fan. Um, so I definitely that's something I definitely want to talk about. I might have a project or two. Working on that end, but yeah, of course, I always want to. I like to consider myself somebody with broad, interests. Um, if not so much of personal interest, just out of curiosity. I'm just curious. I just really want to know about a lot and people. I'm not an expert in anything. Um, so just really good to talk to people about what they're really good at, what they enjoy, what you guys want to listen to. Um, I love to answer questions. But anyway, so the thing I want to talk about today is it's going to be political, and I apologize. If you want to tune out right now and say this isn't for me, I get it. But it's a really interesting conversation, so I please hope that you stick around. So I'm all dressed up. I had my suit on. I don't have it on right now. I just have my dress shirt. Um, only reason I dressed up because the state legislature is on recess, so senator's not in the office. A little bit more business casual. She actually first time back in about 2 weeks in the Capitol office, so um, got a little more dressed up. Anyways, sitting there, it's air conditioned, it's nice, but still sometimes can get a little hot, a little flustered today. I get a phone call, right? Intern. It's what I am. It's what I'm supposed to do is answer the phone, right? I do my part. Pick it up. Hello, Senator Caballero's office. How can I help you? And Slady, um, I'm not going to get into the whole thing. Let me just kind of give you the gist of kind of what happened. So, her issue had to be with transgender men. So I don't know how to correctly term this, so I'm just going to explain it in this way. Um, it was people born male and then transition into a female, so they self-identify as female. Um, she had an issue with these people of these women. That's what they are. Um, being put in women prisons, right? She kept referring to them as men. So, right, opens the conversation with, "I've been a Democrat for 30 years. Here's this issue: men are being allowed into women's prisons." She said men multiple times, so I had to correct her a couple times. Say, "They're women." They said, and then she was like, "Well, why the hell should I have to participate in what they call them? They were born men." I said, "Well, you don't have to, but it's the nice, kind, just thing, just human being thing to do." I'm just saying, like, don't be an asshole. That's really what I was saying. And she was like, "How would you feel if I identified as black?" I said, "Are you black?" She said, "No. I'm mixed, though." I said, "So, okay, well, so no. So what the hell was that all about?" Um, and so I was like, "Race is completely different. Race," I said, "gender and race and sex, all completely different, right?" She said, "All right, whatever." I moved on, right? So these women, she said, "They're letting them into prisons, blah, 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 blah." Um, what'd she say? I apologize. It was a lot. It was a busy. I had a busy day. It's been a long day. A lot of moving pieces going on. So, excuse me. I apologize. I'll probably cut that. Probably won't. So she said, "Well, these men, again, obviously doesn't care, um, are going into these prisons and they have male genitalia." She said something else, but I don't want children that listen. Like, it matters. Like, what the hell I'm talking about isn't already somewhat inappropriate. She was like, "They're going in there. They're, you know, sexually assaulting these women prisoners, and they're killing them, and blah blah blah, and all this other stuff." And she started giving me some stats too about, what she said, like 68% of people that identify as transgender are still attracted to women. And I again interjected. I said, "Hey, sexual, sexuality, um, actually isn't tied to gender." And I asked her a simple question. I said, "I don't know. Are women not attracted? Have you never met a woman attracted to a woman?" She said, "That's not the point." I said, "That is very much the point. Again, because sexuality has nothing to do with gender. I'm a man can like a man, a woman can like a woman, vice versa. It doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with gender, what you choose to identify as." And um, so there's that. And I said, "Okay, well, ma'am, I think you're mistaking what the issue is, right? The issue isn't that there's these transgender people in prisons with people who aren't transgender. Gender has nothing to do with it. The issue that we're having is, number one, mass incarceration in this nation. Got to go. Two, I really was trying to be calm with her. I said, two, ma'am, the issue that you're really dealing with is that you have people who have committed very serious and heinous crimes being housed in the same cell as somebody who's convicted, who's been convicted of a very minor charge. You literally have murderers in the exact same cell as somebody who's in prison for a drug charge, like marijuana, and marijuana is legal now. So make that make sense. That's the issue. The issue has nothing to do with that they're transgender. And they were like, "Well, there's sexual assault and blah blah blah." And I said, was there not sexual assault in women prisons before they started putting transgender women in prison?" She was like, "That's not the point." said bottom line. She kept saying bottom line, and that's not the point. Clearly is the point. And then this is where she really pissed me off. Nobody else was in the office, so I got a little bold. I was like, "Oh, we're doing this." She really said this. Kind of pissed me off a little bit. She was like, "You're delusional. You're an idiot. You know what you're talking about. You're mansplaining womanhood to a woman." I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, I'm just explaining because you obviously don't understand." Then she said, so that pissed me off. And then she said, "Before you were born," in that tone, and I was super not having it. I've been dying for a moment like this. I've been dying to get into an argument like this. She said, "Before you were born, gender wasn't a thing." I said, "Lady, you know what else was a thing before I was born? Was slavery. Slavery was a thing before I was born. So whatever you're gonna say is really gonna sound really dumb." I didn't say this to her, but apologize. I just said, "Hey, look, slavery was a thing before I was born. So please continue. I'm really genuinely curious about what you got to say." She was like, "When I was growing up in the 70s, my mother didn't have to um she couldn't vote. She couldn't get ID to vote because she was a woman and this and that." And I said, "Well, great. I'm glad, you know what, that was an issue about almost close to 50 years ago. I'm glad it's not so much of an issue now. There are certain cases and some instances that it can be a little, you know, do a sideward look of like, holy shit, it's 2021 and we're still having conversations like this." But it's not so much of that case anymore. Not just for women, but women of color, intersectionality, not sexuality, sectionality. Look into it. It's a big thing. Kind of talks about how all these different factors play into who we are. Um, all these social factors. Anyways, and I was just like, "Oh, this progress. There's been progress. It's not a thing anymore." She's like, "How the hell are you going to call it progress?" I said, "Because women don't have to go through that." And she was like, "Exactly. Women have fought for these spaces." And at this point, I was very confused. And I was like, "Women have fought for their spaces in prison. When did we start considering prison as the safe haven? I thought we had been trying to close prisons, build more schools. I guess I've been saying fighting the wrong fight. I guess don't know." Um, and then at this point, I had it. I said, "Ma'am, you have to understand there's a difference between sex and gender." I said, "I'll give you sex. Sex is 100% biological, all this other stuff." She said, and blah, blah, blah. "And a woman can't get well, is a woman getting a woman pregnant?" I said, "No, but, but biological," and when he talks about genitalia and all this other stuff, has nothing to do when it comes to behavior or anything. If somebody does something bad, that means they're a bad person. Has not necessarily anything to do with their gender. Um, Sexual assault was a thing in women's prisons. Sexual, that was the other stat she was like 98% of all sexual assault is done by men. Fair. Has nothing to do whether or not they identify as women. It doesn't gender, the sex piece. Let me explain this better. And again, I explained it to you. Quick Google search. All you needed, really. It's not hard. Sex and gender completely different. Sex, give it to you. It's biological. Some people were born with genitalia for, one part of the species and the genitalia for the other part of the species, and that's how you differentiate scientifically. This is this sort of species. This is this part of the species. We're all the same species, but this is blah, this is blah, and then this is how they create another blah. Right? I said, "I'll give it to you. I believe in science. I live and die on science. I love it to death." Gender. She was like, "Gender's nonsense." And I was like, "I'll give it to you. I'm going to somewhat agree with you. It's nonsense. It's not a real thing. I explain gender the same way I do borders. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard about me talk about borders. Borders aren't real." And some of you guys might get really, "Oh, what are you talking about? Are you saying we should just blah, 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 blah?" I'm saying, just saying this, it's land. It's an invisible line that we put on a paper map and color it in. And we're like, "Well, here's Mexico, here's the United States, and here's the Mexican American border, the Mexican United States border." It's not a real thing. It's land. And then a bunch of old white people got together and were like, this is your land. This is my land. Don't cross that line. That doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. It's a made up thing, right? Gender is a made up thing. The role of a woman, the social construct, doesn't exist. It's not scientific in a biological sense. Like behavior, especially in humans, since we're social animals, we tend to conform to a certain way to fit in. But guess what? Everybody's fucking different. And gender, and this is where she was like, well, I can choose to identify as a frog. No. Different. Gender, race, sex, species. Different. I just explained it to you. Sex, biological. People can go through sex changes. That's a different conversation. But to self-identify as a different gender, why the hell do you care so much what somebody else does? They're going to corrupt our children. How about just embrace and love your children? Live your truth. Live your truth, lady. Who the hell cares? Who the hell cares? If somebody chooses to identify as a woman, does not affect my life. Well, they get more blah 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 and this and that. I'm like, you're just stop. It doesn't matter. You know, the Olympics are really important in talking about transgender athletes. I think it's the solution to all of this. We should all just train together, men and women, transgender, not transgender, doesn't matter. The best of the best compete. If you're fast, you're fast. If you can lift a lot of weight, you can lift a lot of weight. I saw something like Michael Phelps. They were like, it's a genetic advantage for a man, and blah, blah, blah. Michael Phelps had like half the lactic acid. I don't even know what the hell that means. I just saw it. So maybe I'm talking out of my ass. But some of these people, some of these athletes are genetic freaks who have genetic advances. And if they didn't have genetic advances or advantages, I apologize, they wouldn't be the best of the best. There is some genetic advantages to it. And look, there are women out there way faster than me. There are women out there who can lift a lot more than me. So if your dumbass is at home watching the Olympics from your couch on the TV, maybe you should shut the fuck up about athletes. Because clearly, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Just an idea. And again, there is such a huge difference between sex and gender. That's why when people say, what if I choose to identify as black? It's a completely different thing. Completely different. And it was so frustrating. This lady was so frustrating and so transphobic. Like, you're missing the point. Let's do it layer by layer. First issue, prisons. Prisons are a problem. There's definitely better ways to better help people. I'll say that. Number one. Number two, prison housing. Huge issue. Prisons are for profit. Again, the problem isn't that they're transgender. The problem is the system and how fucked up the system is. And I just said, lady, you are directing all your energy to the wrong goddamn thing. The problem isn't that they're transgender. The problem is that all these people are locked up. That's the issue. That's it. You know how much sexual assault can happen in a prison if prisons didn't exist? Zero. You know what the solution to your problem is? Maybe we should scale back our prison system. Maybe we need to do a better job as a society helping people out. Maybe if you commit a drug offense, a non-violent drug offense, it's like, no, they just need help to not take drugs, or at least not take drugs as much as they take it now. Like, look, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. Anybody who's even talked to me once knows that I'm somewhat of a square and that's not my thing. But god damn it, like who, like uh, my life, my life, my decisions, my morals are mine. Yours are yours. Do I think we should help people if they become addictive and do all this other stuff? Yes, help people be the best they can be, but also allow people to be who they want to be to an extent. To an extent, I'll leave it at that. That was the other thing that lady was saying. She was talking about some First Amendment stuff. Like, there was a law passed that if you purposely misspoke of the gender of person, you'd be put in jail or fined. And I just, which bill was that? She's like, well, I don't have it in front of me. So, well, why don't you just show me, like, what? I think it was this, blah, blah, blah. And I looked it up, and I don't know what the hell she was talking about. Uh, that's the other thing, too. It's like, you're just spewing talking points. Like, there's no actual argument. Lady, all I did was a quick Google search. That's the other point I wanted to make. I consider myself a somewhat smart person. I can be dumb. Everybody can be dumb. That's not it. Not saying I'm not dumb, especially sometimes I'm just a dumbass. Um, but I would consider my smart person. What what I think helps me makes me so smart is that I use the resources that are at our fingertips, and the best resource that I've ever used in my entire life, Google. Google it. You have the most amazing resource all of mankind has ever had. You can learn a whole new language for free. You can learn complex math just from watching videos online, just for reading. You can diagnose what the hell that mole is on your buttocks just from watching a video. So anyway, and again, people, not everything you see on the internet is true, which is true. There's a lot of misleading and false things. I have been through Twitter threads. I know. I have seen Facebook posts. God damn it, I know. There's a lot of dumbasses and a lot of false information on social media and on the internet. But again, critical thinking, very important. Um, you just think about it for 2 seconds. Doesn't add up. This isn't making sense. Do a little bit more research. You'll find your answer. Gender and sex are completely different. Race is different from that. Of course, you can identify as a gender. Hell, I could go into the United States and be like, right here, right in this spot. You know what? This right here is my land. This is my country. And no one could tell me no. You could tell me no, and I would just go, but it is. Because no one should. I apologize. Actually owns this land. Land you can't own land. You kind of sit there. Borders aren't real. It's not a real thing. It's made up. It's a bunch of lines. It's a bunch of bullshit. And so is gender. So get the fuck over yourselves. Nobody's more concerned with the LGBTQIA plus community than straight people, straight males. You guys always got something to say about them. So just shut the hell up. Don't. Why? Why are you so bothered? Oh, just use common sense. Don't be so homophobic. Don't be such a jackass. Don't be so transphobic. Be an ally. Be an ally. Well, there's a problem with it. You know, there are problems with a lot of things. Murder, discrimination, uh, violent acts towards somebody that is, unwarranted. Some violence is warranted. I'm looking at you, racist Karens. Try to pull some dumb shit again and see what the fuck happens. Those are my favorite videos. It's like Karens get fucked up. I don't know. Hilarious. Anyways, that's it for the podcast. I just want to kind of talk about that and again get back into this, get back into a groove. I don't know when, but look out for some sort of sports podcast. Little spoiler alert. Sometime in the near future, I really want to. Basketball is a love of mine. I really want to get into that. I'm gonna start doing this podcast a little bit more consistently as my time opens up. I might have to redo the name. Max's Monday Podcast might not work because I won't be able to do it on Mondays all the time anymore. Especially if I want to do it on a consistent basis. So I'll have to rethink of a name. Hey, any suggestions? Let me know. Type it down in the comments. Got any cool name suggestions? With that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, I'm so sorry for the hiatus. I gotta rebuild up my community. Hey, because the first couple of videos were awesome. Then it died down a little bit, and it's my fault. Honestly, it's not somebody's fault. But please tune in, subscribe, share, like the video. Tell me what you guys are interested in. Tell me if you guys have any questions. Maybe I'll start doing something like that. Like I'll take a question from the quotes every week and try my best to answer it. I can do research. I like to be knowledgeable, and it also forces me to get to know more about stuff maybe I never even would have thought of. Again, like I said, thank you guys so much for tuning in again. Start this thing back up. I appreciate it. I love you guys. I appreciate it. Shout out to Viv. Shout out to the homie. Shout out to my parents. I appreciate y'all. You guys have a great day, great evening, whenever the hell you watch this. And I'll see you guys next week. Deuces.